Okay. Let me just make sure that we're live everywhere where we need to be live. And we're about to watch this international friendly game. Yeah, man. Okay, here we go. Andorra versus South Africa. I just want to make sure that everything's fine and I'm live because my TikTok wants to do some things that it was doing this weekend. Anyway, guys, welcome to the show. My name is MOKWENA. I'm your host. This is the Overthinking Football Show, but it's a special edition because we are live to watch Bafana Bafana versus Andorra. Now, for those who don't know, Andorra is ranked 164th in the world. 164. Whereas our good old Bafana Bafana is number 58. The starting lineups are as follows. You have Gomez in goal for Andorra. You have Chus Rupio. Number 18, you have number 5, Lovera. Number 15, San Nicolas. Number 22, Garcia. Number 14, Alaez. Number 6, Valles. Number 3, Guillen. Number 17, Servos. 7, Pujol. And then 10, you have Fernandez. For Bafana Bafana, it is a decidedly Sundowns less. There's less Sundowns players in this team, as Bruce is giving a lot of people their chance to play. Remember, guys, I'm going to say it one more time. Andorra is ranked number 164th in the world. So you can only imagine that this is the game where you give people starting berths, you give people a chance for them to jump in. Heaven. Okay, I'm just going to carry on. It seems that I've been disconnected on my TikTok side. It's giving me problems, but it's fine. I'll carry on. You have Goss in goal. Morena's coming in. You have CBC Koki, Limashejo, Munare captain, Goodman Musele also there. Then you have Utito Maswanganyi, Mokwana Mbanjwa, and Mayo, which is very interesting. Very, very interesting. Because we've all been crying out for Ukanyisa Mayo to get a chance within this Bafana Bafana team. We've been calling for him to come in as one of the top scorers in the PSL. I believe he's number 2. Goal. Hi guys, this has to be a walkover. This has to be a walkover. This has to be a walkover, guys. If you times our ranking by 3, you get 174. And you know Andorra is 164. This is meant to be a very easy game. I don't want to be disrespectful to them, right? But we are meant to take advantage. Now, as I was saying, we've been crying for Kanyisa Mayo to make it into this national team because he's one of the top goal scorers and has been one of the more consistent players in the PSL over the past few seasons. And I know it's not like amazing, like it's not like this man has been burning down the Pantos and scoring 30 goals, but he has been consistent and he has been somebody we've been crying out for, especially knowing that the guys that have been left out who had been chosen ahead of him, Umakhopa, Olepasa, don't quite have the same record as he does recently over the past few years. So it's only right that they get their chance to play. I believe the last time Umayo got a chance to play for Bafana Bafana was when we went to Rwanda, and we know how that match ended. It was a 1-1. It was a wet artificial pitch. Wara. The other interesting thing is that you have Utito Maswanganyi coming in. Bruce has spoken about Maswanganyi Utito, saying that, you know, when he saw him in the derby, that's the Tito that he wants to see. Yeah? That's the Tito that he knows. That's the Tito that he understands. And I think what he's maybe trying to do in picking Utito for some of these games, we all know that Themba Zwane is an older gentleman right now. We all know that he might not have that much rope left career-wise. And then even if he does, you have to start developing players to come take over. Now, initially, Bruce had told us that, guys, Tanzani, is the next guy. It's not SABC 1, guys. Tanzania is next up. Tanzania will replace Zwane, and we saw how that played out. So I think bringing Tito in and maybe Mfukeng in the future will be something that we can look to and say that, okay, fine, this is the succession planning we're having for Bafana Bafana, knowing that we've got crunch games versus Nigeria for the Olympics. We've got crunch games versus Nigeria for the World Cup. We have crunch games coming up in January next year. That's going to be for the AFCON. 2025 AFCON is going to be done in January. So are we planning for the future for 2026, and are we bringing in players that are going to be able to take those slots? So I think bringing in guys like Abu Masangwani at this point is a very good thing, because maybe it does show that there is a little bit of thought for the future. There was a bit of drama carrying Sundowns players, but hey man, what can we say? Where ma? No, guys. Agent, we are 1-0 down. We are 1-0 down. Mistake in defense. Miscommunication. Guys, and then all of a sudden.
Ziyakhala anyways, loudspeaker, and I couldn't do off. I don't couldn't do off. Ziyakhala very much. Ziyakhala very much.
Mistake by Ricardo Gos. Tried to control a ball. It went through his feet, right into the direction of the number 10, Fernandez, who scores. I was gonna say, as I was speaking, that a lot of these players need to realize that this could be an audition. This is an audition. And, if they lose to Andorra, what's going to happen going forward if we are losing to Andorra? Guys, the last 5 games that Andorra have played, let me give you a little bit of a breakdown of the team that we're playing against. In the last 5 games, and you'll see it on the form guide, Andorra has lost all 5. Go. Andorra has lost all 5. They've lost to Israel, 2-0. They've lost to Belarus, 1-0. They've lost to Romania, 4-0. They've lost to Kosovo, 3-0. They've lost to Switzerland, 3-0. This is the team that we're playing right now, that we're 1-0 down against. This is the team. FIFA Series 2024 in Algeria. We're playing in the 19 May 1956 stadium in Algeria. Are we going to remember the 21st of March 2024 as a tough day? Agent, you asked about why we're not 5-0 up. I think there is a fair bit of gelling that needs to happen, but these players are not, they're not showing anything. Sometimes I feel as though Hugo Bruce does certain things just to shut us up. He's like, you guys don't like that this team is made up of Sundowns players and you want me to pick other players to come in here. And this is what the other players do. But anyway, it was a mistake. I think we can look past it. It is 1-0. We have looked dangerous. We had a chance 2 minutes in where we flashed the ball across the face of goal and there just wasn't anybody to finish it off. We have attacked maybe twice in this game so far. We do look like the better team in possession. Like, we do look like we want to play the ball and do those things. But guys, the most important thing is the scoreline, guys. The most important thing is the scoreline. Whether it's a tap-in, whether it's a mistake, whether it's whatever we want to call it, oksalayo. If we lose this game, it looks bad on us. I can only imagine what that does to our rankings. This team is 164th in the world. Andorra, 164. If you take our ranking and times it by 3, it's 174. by 3. So we should be leading. There was a mistake by Sundowns player. Ayman Ghost must be investigated. I mean, what is that? Says RULANI. Sinja says it was a mistake by Sundowns player. A super sport player, wasn't it? Or you're going to blame Moren for playing the ball back. Maybe they're too comfortable. Maybe they're too comfortable. And we need to get back into this game. 164, guys. Okay. One of the things that I'm going to be looking out for, again, like I'm saying, I want to see how Tito adapts to this game. Obviously, you'd want to see Tito with a stronger team, with more of the first team. But the level of our opponents also plays into maybe the decision and how we want to see them. And I think about Tito, this is the game to shine. This is meant to be the game to shine. Can't be our way. If Andorra scores again, guys. If Andorra scores again, I don't trust Gos now. I don't trust Gos. I'm sure Velimoto is smiling wherever Velimoto is. Wherever he's chilling, I'm sure he's happy, or not happy, but he's going at Kabeki man. Buma might also see a spot to come in as the secondary goalkeeper. Here we go. Here's an attack. Moran on the ball. Who are you crossing to? Like, guys, can we speak about this? Can we speak about this? I'm seeing us playing wide, and I'm seeing us playing shot boy. Way. Mokwena wide. I'm seeing us crossing. And the question I'm asking myself is, Makhupa's not here. And cross Makhupa Magakon. You have Mayo, who's not necessarily the tallest player in the world. We don't have that much height up front. Even if you can count Tito as somebody who might have a little bit of height in comparison to Mayo, he doesn't hit a balls. So who are you crossing to? Like, why are we crossing the ball high? It's not even like those drilled crosses like the first 2 minutes where we had that bit of a chance. It's literally just high crosses. Where are they going? Why are we playing that football? Utito mnandi, Umayo mnandi. Mokoena can probably cut in a little bit more. Morene showed that sometimes he can also play a little bit narrow. Why then go high? I don't understand it. Against team number 164. This is where we should be feeling ourselves, man. Yes, do these guys know that it's witchcraft hours? Not yet. It's only Banyana that plays at those times, funny enough. Hey, Pella, we've been here at 2 a.m. watching Banyana. But Mayo is there. He's a striker. The defenders aren't that tall. Guys. Agent. I think the few goals I've seen from Mayo this season have not been goals that have come from crosses, guys. Mayo's not a striker. City are forced to play him there. Well, he does well. I mean, he is one of the top scorers. Okay, so on the bench, imagine, I have to speak about the bench. 15 minutes in because the hour, look. And that, what is this? Huh? What's going on? Do these players understand that they will never see game time? They will never see game time again. Do they understand? Do they understand that if they don't perform right now, they will not see game time again? Got this FIFA series, what? Number 14, Alliance. Again, clear opportunity. Hit it over. We can't even deal with their pressing. Hi, Agent. We had a conversation on my show about the levels of Europe. I hope we're not proving this levels of Europe thing here. Which in the basement of Europe is holding the third best team in Africa. Well, obviously with a lot of changes. I don't want to make it seem as though. But guys, do you bring the Avengers in? I think to save face. I think at some point you're going to see, we've got 5 subs. At some point you're going to see Mudiba come in. You're going to see Zwane come in. You're going to see Kekara come in. You're going to see MOKWENA come in because everyone came at this time. Trey, and you guys don't follow your country. It's the FIFA series. They don't in Algeria. We're actually going to play Algeria on Tuesday at the same time. We're losing against the team with the flag that I don't want to be disrespectful. You guys are the worst. You guys are the worst. Who's currently the creative midfielder? The creative midfielder is meant to be Utito. It's meant to be Utito. We just don't know who is meant to be backing him up. Musele and Munara also on the pitch. But we haven't been able to play out of the press. Just the press. The structure is so bad. The structure is so... You can tell it's players that have never played together. You can tell it's players that are not used to playing together. And this is where playing together is tough. I Storm, leave me. I don't want to know. I don't want to disrespect the team that is currently beating us. Trishan. Yes, Mohau. I am live. I am live on TikTok. I am live on TikTok as well. I am live on TikTok and on YouTube. Let's go, guys. Let's go. Can we get a goal back? Good shot, Morena. I don't understand what the point of that movement there was. Tito gets the ball, gives it to Mayo instead of giving it to... was it Morena? Not Morena. Morena was making the third run. There was a player making a run on the right-hand side. That was an easier pass. Salvalegi Paula, man. Why are we afraid of the ball? It's looking like this is now Bafana Bafana's game now. This is Bafana Bafana's game. We struggle. And Koke and CBC are not people that play the ball out, guys. They need all the support they can get. Secondly, come on. Somebody else come. Come. Evan, we're looking for a long ball. We're looking for a long ball. Nobody's opening up. This is shades of the AFCON, part of the AFCON games where we couldn't build up. Yeah, we're looking for the long ball. Guys are too far away from each other. You're too far away from each other. You're too far away. Yo, guys. No forward play, just kicking the ball, hoping it finds a player. I think what I'm more frustrated by right now is that there's no one who's collecting the ball, and our defenders are not good enough to play the ball out the way that they're trying to play the ball out. So the connection between the defense and Tito is non-existent. And I'm hoping that they're just warming up. I'm hoping that we're just seeing, obviously, it's a new team, it's new players playing together. And I'm thinking that this team that Andorra has brought is their normal team. So I'm hoping that they find their chemistry. But the gaps between the players in the way that they're trying to play makes no sense. It makes no sense right now. And I hope Bruce speaks to that. This lineup is not make sure, says Sacarino. Trey says, Ibuya Pile Andorra, is it from the Atlantic Ocean or the North Pole? I'm actually not sure. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm actually not sure. So now chemistry is a thing. When we talk about that at Sundowns, we're called crazy. No. Don't bring that up because I had a point to what I'm talking about, but don't do that, agent. Don't do that. You're gonna take me down a different road. Just this says I have hope. MOKWENA is hungry for playing in our national team. He's hungry. Mayo, this is not a game for him to play false nine. He's trying to be a connector. It's not a game to play false nine. I think if he can make runs in behind, he can have something, not to drop back. Because if he drops back, I think he's going to start playing too much. And when you have players that play too much, they look beautiful, but they don't do anything in terms of being dangerous. You know? Is Tito in the game? Tito is in the game, but yeah, he's starved of the ball. Goalkeeper Nkom FC is doing well, but Pirates fans have been complaining about their midfielders hiding from the ball. Andorra's keeper does not look like a soccer player. There's an old man there. Their captain looks like an old man. Yeah, no, I'd bring in the Avengers, eh? I'd bring in the Avengers, guys. We are a country that easily hypes people. 2 games down and he's the next one. Yeah, well, I think what I was saying earlier on was not necessarily that he's the next one, is that I think we need to start getting serious about finding the next one. And I think in terms of number 10 play in the country, I'll put Tito up there, man. I'll put Tito up there. You know? Or do you guys want to see a Lodge coming into this team? Or do we naturalize Serino and bring Serino in? I think I'm frustrated by how disorganized this team is. And I'm frustrated because they're trying to do things that are above their pay grade. That's what's frustrating me more than anything in this game. This is not Williams and Ekekana and Mudiba and players who are very comfortable that way. So I don't understand why Tolkien and CBC are getting this much of the ball. You know, even at Pirates, when Tolkien and CBC play, there's always someone of the 2 midfielders in front of them who drops back to come and get the ball. And I guess, I don't know if it would be asking too much of Musele to be the one that drops back to get that ball. But you don't see it. There's no one taking the responsibility of being the first linkage. And I think this is where you need to give like Sundowns credit, because they cheat. That's why you find Zungu playing center back, quote unquote, because you have somebody who, guys, you have somebody who can connect the ball. It's the Rivaldo Kutsia role. And if we don't have that, we're going to struggle to get up the pitch. And I don't think our players that we have on the pitch right now are second ball players. I don't think they're good at the second ball. So first ball up is the long ball. Whatever happens, I don't know if they win the first ball or if they win the second ball. Ito there with a chance, but it's a corner, so at least it's something. But let's see. MOKWENA just broke someone's one replacement. I wish to see players like Van Veek from Stellenbosch. Bayenzani, says Lemogang. Bati bayenzani. Brought us nothing, hence Masangwani is in the level for him. Well, look, guys. Like it or not, you can't rely on one group of players forever. And it's good for now, but then what happens when those players are gone? What happens when they're fatigued or tired? What happens when they can't make it? What happens as a national team coach? And I know that I've been somebody that called for it. I'm just sad that over the past however many years Bruce has been here, that secondary team has not been consistent. So we're seeing a lot of people getting auditioned every time he rotates the team. And I think when we speak about chemistry and we speak about stage and we speak about all of that stuff, maybe it would have been better to have Abo Masangwani in and around the team, getting game time, doing those things for a while now, so that when he jumps in, he's ready. Labo Mayo Laba. Not even to displace the players that are in the team already, but just from the point of view of saying, hey, let's at least make Danko go. Let's at least make sure that these guys are ready. Danko. 1-1. Hey. Whew. We can breathe again. 1-1. We can breathe again.
It's a big one, eh?
That goal is a big one. We can breathe again. Now I'm hoping that we can show the difference between our rankings. Hey. To be fair, if it wasn't for God's mistake, you wouldn't be panicking like this. I'm not necessarily panicking, to be honest with you. I'm not panicking. It's just questions I have about Bafana Bafana. Like I said, I think there'll come a point where these guys catch their form. I guess there'll come a point where they get some form of chemistry between themselves and playing with each other and things like that. So I think we'll see that as the game goes on. And again, it's Andorra, guys. They're number 164 in the world. It's Andorra. Told you all about MOKWENA. You actually did. I'm going to give you credit for that. You actually did. That keeper is a carpenter full-time and a footballer part-time, says Justin. Hey, you guys. Man. Ay, Mara. If only MOKWENA had a bit more help there. Like, I wonder if MOKWENA and Tito were playing like Mfukeng and Tito. Just need Tito to come to the game. But there's our midfield, our base of midfield is not there. Mara, there's no one home. There's no one home. We should be cooking with Munare, but he wants to be a CDM too much. He needs to carry the ball more. And that's why I'm asking, because Munare is a high-flying 8 for Pirates. Maybe it might even be psychological. And what I mean by psychological is that, hey, you know, when you get that captain's armband, man, when you get the captain's armband, it feels as though that responsibility that you have or you feel goes up. It goes up. You feel captain, man. I need to do more than I need to do. I need to do more than I'm called to do. Because usually, Munare doesn't want the ball. Usually Munare is making runs. Like, you can structure this team. Have Tito play primarily to the left-hand side with MOKWENA, and then have Munare push up to play with Morena up there. Morena and Mbanjo up there. And you could make something good because Mayo can make some runs. I think right now Munare is playing CDM, Mayo's playing false 9. So I think that's slowing them down a little bit. They just need Sonolo Mujela. Number 17 looks good. He's not bad. Number 17 is MOKWENA, guys. Hey, he's been wanting to get into this team. But guys, how do I allow this team to score against us? To be fair, it was a mistake. The lineup is Goss in goal, Morena, Sbisi, Koki, Mashiko. Then you have Munare, Goodman Musele, Tito, Maswanganyi, MOKWENA, Mbanjwa, and Mayo. Bruce says Mayo ki -1. And I'm scared for Mayo. Why I'm scared for Mayo is that this is audition number 2. Last audition was Rwanda, if I'm not mistaken. keeps trapping the ball. Like, he keeps moving the ball so far away, man. From the center. I don't get why. Guys. Look, their structure is falling apart now. They had a very nice high press at the beginning of the game. But I guess, man, 29 minutes in, 1-1. MOKWENA saved us the blushes after Goss had made a fatal mistake that gave Andorra a goal. Remember, guys, Andorra is 164th in the world. I'm going to keep saying it because I'm like, I'll throw part-time carpenters. They can't throw the ball in. I can't watch the match. How's it so far? Well, it's getting better on our side. It's getting better on our side. The first part was, Mayo's auditioning by popular demand like Reina's. That's why I say, I feel like sometimes Bruce picks players just to make a point. Like, just to go, okay, I picked you guys. Look at them. I picked them, I put them in. Now do you understand why I don't play them? Like, sometimes I feel it's like that. But also, okay, let's have a real conversation. Let's have a real conversation. Fine. Mayo is being auditioned by popular demand. Do we think that this team, the way that they're playing and the way that they've set up, fits Tito and fits Mayo? The way that they set up, the way that they play. Do you think that at the back it fits Koki and Sibisi? Do you think that Goodman Musele and Monare playing defensive mid is a good thing? Because as far as I understand it, okay, I can speak more about Monare, who's an 8 for me. Very attacking 8. Msele is also more of an 8. But they're asking them to play these roles. So is this team made for Bomayo to be successful? Or is it made for us to look at Makgopa and say, one of the skill sets that Makgopa brought to this team, Mayo can't do? So that's why I was asking, for example, about these long balls. Long balls and crosses, who's going to win the first ball? Who's going to win the second ball? At least to Makgopa, and as much as we love to criticize him, at least when it calls time for that thing, he wins those balls. Look at where Tito's lining up. Look at where Khanye is lining up. They're so far away, and it seems like they're trying to play or is it Kimbanjo? Trying to play strikers. Utito. Shot. Vele Bruce can be spiteful, says Balube Kutz. He just says, but he sets them up for failure because he does not play them with his core team. That's what I'm asking, Sinje. That's why it's also that aspect of it. Like I said earlier, would Tito look better in the first team? So if Tito was playing in the first team and maybe Zwane was benching for Tito to come in for however many minutes, would he look better? Would Khanye look better with more of the first team? And of course, these are hypotheticals, guys. These are hypotheticals. So the question then becomes: is this an actual good chance for the players, or is it just Bruce going, "Hi guys, you know Percy's gonna come back. You know I'm gonna bring in MOKWENA. You know I'm gonna play Zwane. You know I'm gonna play all these guys. I'm just letting you run." And the reason why I'm also saying that is there hasn't been a pattern to the people that is brought in as well. There hasn't been a pattern. Abo Modi have come in and gone out, for example. And it's not to say, I don't want to make it a Chiefs thing. It's just an example. Modi came in and went out. Abo Mtanzani were said to be the next Zwanis. They've come out. Abo Jaden, is Adams there? Adams is not on the bench. Abo Adams, Abo's Banban. You'd imagine that at this point, you would have the guys secondarily there. Like, for example, Goss, we know, is usually in and around there. I know Motaung was the one, but Goss is in and around there. You could even argue for Motaung to be the one that is meant to be playing this game in terms of him being the secondary guy, so that when he's called in, he's not starting from scratch. The point I was making about Tito is that, okay, if you're really looking at Tito, ngabe kudala Tito angene kule setup, right? But how many of the guys who are playing, okay, some of the guys who are playing here will never make it back to a bench when it's a serious game, will never make it into a squad. Mayo's been called up twice, if I'm not mistaken, in the past year. He's been called up twice. So are you then saying that he's the backup to Makgopa when he doesn't even go to AFCON? Not even to say he's better. Are we wasting our time with these friendlies, or are these just pure auditions where we know that, you know what, Sasa, somebody else is going to come in? And does that, how does that bode for the national team going forward? 30 minutes 1-1. Let me leave this. There's some people who are here. Malume Kucho says, look, make it a 4-3-3, put Tito in front of the 2 8s and Mayo is a Danko. Simple. It was Umkwana who scored. It was Umkwana who scored. We must redeem ourselves after last time we went against the non-African team. Agent, leave him. It's fine. I think it's a new thing that FIFA is trying to do, similar to the Nations League, but with all the countries. So I think the idea is that the FIFA series is going to take all these countries and bring them to one place. So, for example, I'm not sure the full numbers, but I know that there's 6 or 8 national teams that are in Algeria right now that are going to play over the international break. We're going to play Algeria next week. We're playing Andorra today. And then I think they're trying to formalize the friendly system, I think. To formalize it. But let's see. I think they're trying to make it seem like it's a tournament, but I feel like they're just formalizing the friendlies. Yeah. Please, no excuses for these players. We need to make magic with what they have, says Ukhunzi. He did this with Blom. Stormy says Andorra players are looking like, ay, Mara Stormy. Hey, Mara. He's way better than evidence. I don't want to, okay, I don't want to say that. All I'm saying is that in this system, Makgopa will look better than Mayo in this system because it doesn't play to any of Mayo's strengths. Lebza, how are you? Friendly matches between teams who don't. No, that's what I'm saying. That I think it's just formalizing. I think it's formalizing it. Like, look, if we look at what Europe did with the Nations League, that's what the Nations League is. Europe, UEFA sat down and they said, guys, we're going to make sure that Andorra gets to play Spain. And for them, I think it was a selfish thing where they were saying that if we play together enough, the rankings look better for Europe. We've made it a trophy, so everybody has to play. You're not going to find some people sitting out. So I think FIFA is trying to do something similar where, look at this game. Andorra's 164, we're 58. Would we have ever played Andorra? And if Andorra wins this game, what does it do for their rankings, right? We might get to play some big countries later on down the line in this FIFA thing, in order to create some parity, or else everybody's going to keep playing against everybody. And I think also our FAs will keep playing against certain FAs. We'll keep playing against Swaziland. We'll keep playing against Lesotho. We'll keep playing against Botswana. And nothing's wrong with them, but proximity will make them lazy. Whereas I think FIFA's just going, guys, we'll take over it then. We'll take over it, and we'll give you guys games that you guys would never pick yourselves. Things like that. But let's see. I don't know how close it is to Europe, though. You'll be surprised it was the brainchild for Motsepe. All good. I was shocked to tune in and find Andorra leading 1-0. It was a mistake. It was a mistake. I'll give them that it was a mistake. But I'm not going to lie, I expected more from this game, to be honest with you. I expected the hunger of the players to give us a little bit of something there. This is on audition. Let's be honest, it's on audition. People have been rested. Double players have been told, that guy, you can sit down, you know. FIFA are trying to encourage more intercontinental friendlies. This tournament doesn't have a trophy or prize money. Thank you, Mtozisi. There on YouTube. Lil VG says, RSA, brr, says Andorra's winning. Well, they were leading. It's now 1-1. Big Muzi says Andorra to win for the first time with us. Hey, 5 games, and 5 games beaten. Comprehensively so. Beaten by Israel 2-0. Beaten by Belarus 1-0. Beaten by Romania 4-0. Beaten by Kosovo 3-0. Beaten by Switzerland 3-0. This is Andorra. Aye, man. Guys, why is Tito playing false 9? Or 9? It looks like he's playing 9. Is that Tito? Aye, guys. Or maybe am I mistaken to say that I don't understand why Tito is up there? Lugisani says their last win was in 2022. Baratwerma. Agent says Zwane does this. Yeah, Zwane does this because he knows that there's backup behind him. Tito's not going to get the ball. And I feel as though if him and Mayo are up there, there's one less player to play the ball in the middle. And I think that's what's taking Tito out of the game. Rather, Tito goes to 10, goes to 8 even. I might even play him at 8. And have him, you know, directly interact with the ball. Maybe a little bit lower, you know, than for him to stand up there and, you know, we've got 2 players minus. Okinos BC, they can't play the ball like that. Goodman Musele hasn't been there, really. Munare, at Pirates, it's not his responsibility to hold the ball and play a ball. He is usually running and making third man runs. But guys, tell me if I'm wrong. Yeah, I think I'm mixing Tito and Mbanja. Apologies, I think Mbanja. Because I think Mbanja has come in. I might be mixing them. You're right, Malumekut. No, yeah, you're right. But look at Tito's positioning, though. I don't know if that's where Tito's going to be effective. Against San Marino. Tanta says this has been such an ugly game to watch. I think they need to switch up the formation and cut the long balls. Mara, you're making all the excuses for some players. No, I'm just, I'm focusing on certain players. Like I'm saying, Musele is not a good CDM or at least a progressor of the ball. So when the ball is at the back, it's pretty much dead. And then they have to play this long ball, which again, I also want to say that it was a similar situation to Bafana Bafana in the AFCON, where you had Uyaya and MOKWENA, who are workhorse midfielders, not builders, and you had long balls. But the only difference is that the nice thing about that team is the long balls were going to Makgopa. You don't have a Makgopa type player to win the first ball in this team. So Mayo, who's maybe used to closer play, more compact play, more, give and take. I make a run, you give me the ball, you give me a through pass, not high. Is now having to anticipate crosses, is now having to, basically take himself out the game. Utito has been starved of the ball, similar to what happened with Zwane at the AFCON 2. So I don't know if the system is good for them. I don't know if the system is good for them. I think there's a lot of players who are playing out of position. You mistake him for someone, then come back with another excuse. But anyways, oh, you mean that way? No, oh yes, no, I made the mistake. I thought it was him. But then when you look at it still, the positioning is off. So yeah, that was my mistake. That was my mistake. I'd still love to see Tito on the ball a lot more. So that was my mistake. You'd mistake him for someone. We'd rather watch Sundowns disguised as Bafana. You have proven your point, Bruce Mshishi in. Says Justin. Let's see. Mastole says, could you please, guys, sabcsport.com. sabcsport.com is free. SABC Sports Facebook is free. They broadcast it there, so you can watch it there. SABC Plus app, if you want to do that too, that's also free. And then for those who are paying, DSTV stream and 202, if I'm not mistaken. But MOKWENA should go on the right, says Chenko. Lungisane says 2413. Mara, go for. There's no one go for who's playing the ball, man. And there's no one who can play the ball. Yeah, on Facebook. Yes, on Facebook. SABC One, SABC Plus, sabcsport.com. No, they were asking me where to stream it. They're asking me where to stream it. Haku says, watching on Algerian TV, Bafana Bafana playing well. It was just the goalkeeper's fault. Maybe I'm expecting too much then. I don't know, guys. I don't think Bafana Bafana's playing so well. De Figo says the defense is skewed to the right, leaving Mashego exposed. Anulaki says this is like watching Skukune and Cheaper. Chantel says it's not make sure. Guys, halftime, at halftime, remember that you can jump into the show. I'm going to open it up. Those listening on YouTube, if you want to add your voice to the show, you have to join me while I'm live now on TikTok. Then I will open up and I'll let people speak. For the sake of time and because I can't stay long afterwards, I'm going to carry it open. I'm going to keep it open for the whole of the second half. So we're going to just rotate and rotate and rotate up until. So guys, remember that you can request. You have to be following me in order to request, guys, on TikTok. At the bottom of your screen, there's a button that says multi-guest. Bottom of your screen. Multi-guest is got a blue figure hugging a pink figure. And you'll be able to jump in. Let me just fix my my graphics, and then let's see who's here. Oh, Sinje with the.
Brajoji, man, how are you?
Hi, man, I'm okay, man. I'm okay. Tell me, what do you make of this game?
The multi-guest open for the duration of the second half.
Yeah, it's going to be open. Can you listen, Sinje?
Okay, no. I'm gonna come back. Yes, I think I've got a problem with network. You can go to agent and discuss this penalty team that goes number 3.
You have to take a shot going. You have to take a shot before going. Agent, when network is not working, you have to take the shot. Agent, the show, my brother. How are you?
This is why the network doesn't work. It's because of things like this. Hi, it's at night, so
How did you see the game? How are you seeing the game? How are you seeing the game?
Where do you even start? Hmm, I saw a start somewhere that Abutukuto posted that but a player who hasn't played for us for 2 or 3 years. This is exactly why. This is exactly why. Exactly why we can't play him, you know. But is it a case of maybe the players have adopted our mentality also? Is it a mental thing, a psychological thing? In the sense that we thought it was going to be a walkthrough, and we came in a relaxed manner. So I don't know, but it doesn't look good.
Is
Can
the
we?
setup good enough for these players? Well, okay, not good enough. Does the setup fit these players? Because hey, for me, it's feeling as though it was just put together and they said, "Hey guys, you know what? I'm not gonna necessarily change my system. Mara ke tlo le kenya. Figure it out."
No, but the system is good enough for these players to work. It's a case of I'm not gonna I'm not gonna be a chameleon and say chemistry is not a factor. Chemistry is a factor. I've always maintained chemistry is a factor, even in club level. That chemistry is a factor, you know. So I can forgive them for that, but I think the system is set up in such a way that, like I mentioned, that usually what happens when you're playing with a false nine is your 10 usually comes in, occupies that role while the false nine goes out wide, you know. So I was kind of expecting that interchange between Maswangai and Mario, but looks like it's Mbunjana who's doing that work, which uh, creates a
Mbaja.
problem for me because then it means Masongai have to go to that side. So for me, I would prefer Umayo and Masongai, them alternating in that role, you know, because it's easier in terms of distance and everything. But like I said, the system and the players should be good enough. Come on, guys. I don't even want to disrespect Sunday League teams. You know, these are Sunday. Even school teams are better than this. You know, I saw a foul throw. Like, what was the last time you saw a foul throw as horrible as that one? You know, sometimes we don't have to pamper these players. You know, these players must give 110%. You know, Morena, Masheho, you guys are saying you are playing Champions League level. What is this? Why can't you guys be pumping shots left, right, center? You know, so I'm disappointed.
Let me bring in Malume Kutso. Malume Kutso. Is this an I told you so? Yeah, Professor. Lebeletse ka batho ba ba dona.
Well, you can take it like that, Mr. Uti. Mara Nati, I think somewhere, somehow, hey, we are being pompous, and this is why we consider the goal we considered. I saw a goalkeeper before kickoff, he's smiling, he's making jokes with people he doesn't know. The one more, he's so relaxed, this one. He's not serious about life. Because you know he'll concede like that. You must understand, Mr. Uti. We came out number 3 after a very long time. We must not pretend as if we are well beaters here. And by the way, Andorra has never lost for 6-0 for us to go into the game. Si relax kangaka. They losing 3-0 to teams like Sweden, Mr. Uti. And those aren't slouches. You
Hi,
understand?
Kosovo, Romania, Switzerland.
Yeah, but there's no 6-0 there.
There's a
It's
4 and a 3 and a 3.
Exactly. So you can still get those 3 goals second half. We must not act like these teams are being beaten 10-0 or something like that, Mr. Let's be fair. And also, Amachita Cavani, Mr. OT.
Yeah.
Some of them want
Yeah.
to impress. It's
Yeah.
very important to know a player like Mr. OT to say, okay, this one is going to make that run. Make him pass you know, there's a lot of trial and error along the game. And but at the same time, I would say Elias Mokwane is doing the business. Why are the others not adapting like how he has adapted? You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
And then issue 6, man. That's how our midfielders play, guys. Even if you change them, we play with 2 8s, it's always Yaya and Mokwena, and one of them sits very deep. They don't all attack at the same time. We must not ask for things that have never been done before, as if when we play Mokwena no Yaya bahlasela bonke. And someone must be there. In as much as it's a game against a team engaqaqanga, but the coach also needs to see, okay, can you do what he asks of you? You understand? So we can't just play and throw the kitchen sink. The next thing you come against a team like maybe, I don't know, a Cameroon, and we still don't know, can you do what the first 11 does, the main team does? You understand? So you have to try as much as possible to mimic what the actual team does. You have to function within that system. And if we can come in, sidlale sibhola elimnandi, and next thing you have to play the labor football that you play, and suddenly you are confused. You understand, Mr. OT? This is for the betterment of the national team and not just our players performing. I mean, my question, I asked it in the comments. I just want to know, as it's easy to make yourself hated by people. Umayo, where does he get the liver to wear number 10 for the national team? You just arrived, my friend. What are you doing? You have just arrived. You have done nothing, and the coach said, oh, -1. And then on number 10. Obviously, the coach is looking at this. No, the coach will look and say, Papa. How are you wearing number 10? Hi, all right, Mr. Oti.
I'll come back. Lukisan, welcome to the show, my brother. How are you?
No, I'm all right, man. And yourself?
Okay, Lukisan, tell me, what are you seeing in this game?
Hey,
He starts with a laugh.
there's nothing that I'm seeing in this game. Really, to be quite honest, I think that mistake by Kos got everybody who's doing the auditions very nervous. Wanted to oversell themselves because of that mistake. If you look at how we're playing, we're playing with two centre backs, which is Utlogi and Usbisi. Monare and Tapelo Morena are in line with Mashego and the left and the right side. They're in line with Marcele and Monar, so that makes it 4, with one person we are hoping to initiate attack, which is Tito, and the 3 up front, which is Banjo, Amayo, and Mukwana. So, with that being said, like I did write in the comments, that I think Monar and Mashego are rushing too forward, because in the way that we're setting up, if we're going to be left with 2 center backs, we want to throw these people to come at us, then play behind them. So we are playing these long balls while these people are still waiting for us to come at them. Yeah, but, so that's why we can't find Patrick Mayo. We can't seem to find Umbanjwa. We can't seem to find Mokwade that easily. Because when we start play, already Monar is on the wheel to say, I'm rushing forward. And then Mosen is left behind to say, how? But I'm waiting for you to play 1-2 with me before we go forward. Yeah, but already most of you it's always a 3 against 5 or a 4 against 6. So we are always numbers less in attack. You understand? Whereas the setup is we need to play for them to come at us, and then we catch them with that long ball. So I think we did that in the first minute, as you saw that Mokwana crossed to Banjo and Banjo missed. First 2 minutes.
Yeah. But then how
I don't
much of
remember
it...
OT.
how
Banjo
much,
on the other side. That is how we're planning.
but how much of this system fits the players? Because the way I'm seeing it is that he wants to have defenders who are comfortable on the ball. Falcons BC aren't necessarily comfortable on the ball. Then you've got 2 midfielders in Munare and Mosele who don't play that position. Munare is not an 8 in the way that Mokwena is an 8. Musele is not an 8 or come 6 in the way that Uspepelo, Kimangus Tole is, for example. And then there's that huge gap where I understand the long ball, but there's no Mahopa to win first ball. Are we hurting the players who are on the pitch?
It's an audition, OT. If they ask you, they ask you to play the young Achimorok, you have to jump in there and play the young Achimorok. You understand? You have to adapt. You have to. We have to stop this thing of saying we have this type of players. You have to adapt to the coach's plans. Look at that guy from Morocco who plays for Sundowns. You would have never thought he would play as a left back sometimes. No one would have thought that. But somehow, Coach RULANI uses him on the left-hand side to say cover for Motsepe. You understand? Players need to adapt to the coach's system. Hence, I'm saying Mashego and Tapelo, they are too quick to rush forward in terms of the plan is to draw Andorra in so that we play that long ball to Kwana or that long ball to Tumban to get behind them. Then they face their own goal post, then we attack. But now, Mashego and Morena, they are too quick to rush forward. Even Banjo at the time doesn't know whether to tuck inside next to Mayo or to still go out wide and expect that ball to come over. So this thing is not about coaching. This thing is about it's among the 11 that are in the field to say, no, but wait, it's an audition, this is what we need to do, these are my strengths. But if also Valumlong and expect people to feel you will have a problem. You must look at your likes of Chambers when things are not going right. They start talking. They start putting things out there to say, hey, say, don't do this, do that. I want it like this, I want it like that. You understand? So, not to detail so much. As we need to play according to the coach's instructions. It's not suiting the players because there's no system that will ever suit South African players.
But then I think my question more goes down to Mayo can try as much as he wants. He doesn't have a height gamma hope. So whether he's really trying very hard, if you give him a long high ball, chances are he's not going to win that ball.
But OT, the high balls are not going to Mayo. The high balls are meant to go on the side to pull out the center backs to go close Kwana, to pull out the center backs to go close Banjo, so that they bring it in and find Mai. You understand what I'm trying to say? If you look at the first 2 minutes, go back to the first 2 minutes when that high ball was played. Those high balls are not meant to go direct over the center backs. They're meant to go direct between the right back and the center back, between the left back and the center back, to find Umbanjwa, Nunkwana, so that they can deliver to a standing Mai. You understand?
The first team
maybe somewhere there, he's trying to expose him to say, we're going to deliver balls to you. Are you going to be able to score? Which has not been happening.
Okay, no, for time's sake, let me bring in Lebza, because we're still going to have time during the second half. I hope you stay on so we can carry on speaking. Lebza, I want to bring you in here. Welcome. What do you think of this game?
How's it, people? I think this clearly demonstrates certain positions that we often don't really pay attention to. It's starting to show exactly how crucial those roles are, but I'm not gonna go into those details because then it's gonna look as if we're starting to talk more about Sundowns players and all of that. So I'm gonna leave that discussion, you know. But I one thing I wanna denote that's positive is that Bafana Bafana have changed our view of them to a point where we expect them to blow teams away now, especially teams like Andorra. I came expecting like 5-0, 6-0, something like that, because of how how well we've been performing recently and how good we expect the team to be, you know. So I'm happy about that outlook, that we expect really a good score from Bafana. But at the same time, I'm quite disappointed that we're not playing penetrating football. We seem to be shooting long range balls for goals and all of that.
Oh,
So
wow, wow, wow.
it's quite disappointing to witness that. I was expecting us to find spaces to get in and not be shooting long range shots hoping for miracles. I do not like that at all. And yeah, that goal by Goz, I I'm not gonna comment about that. Williams has made people think that they can play a ball at the back, but
Yeah.
it's not for everyone, you know. So let me leave it at that. But overall, I'm not necessarily happy with the game.
But before you go, guys, the second half has started. It is 1-1. Andorra versus South Africa. I also want to ask you the question that I understand that he has a plan, Bruce, but then surely you look at your players and you say Goss might not be comfortable playing at the back, and I know it was a mistake. I don't want to make it seem as though you know about talking about BC are not comfortable at the back. You know how Mayo usually plays, and you picked him instead of rather than taking somebody who's closer to the archetype that you're used to. Are we seeing some of those things in some of these players that they're asked to be playing roles that maybe they don't usually play, and maybe they should have been players that are more suited to what Bruce plays were chosen?
I think it's him testing things out. I mean, he can't do this. He can't test out these kind of things with Algeria because we'll get destroyed. So against Andorra, he has the luxury of doing this, knowing that if things go south, he can bring about 3-4 players that can change the game completely.
Yeah.
But this is where he can actually experiment like this. He can't do this against other teams like Algeria. So I'm fine with him trying things out exactly like this and seeing how that works. And changing things in the second half to see if Mayo can benefit from a different system. So let's see how it goes in the second half. Hopefully we'll see something different, but I'm fine with him experimenting in this game than any other game, because hey, I don't want to be embarrassed in the next games.
Okay. Let me go to Colin. Colin, welcome to the show, my brother. How are you?
I'm alright, so team John Pet.
Man, mina ngimnandi man. Colin, tell me, we won as a game.
OT, so far for me, I'm gonna go right first. Like if it wasn't for equal, we consider the mistake got cause. What's going now, man? We expected this. Like, Mars against the example, Mr. OT. Okay, I won't use the Sundowns. I'll use the Pirates. At the start of the season, you remember my players are fan and Kim Vuiti or Mavovovo. They couldn't gel my players are done. So if most of team manager. Am I still audible, Mr. OT?
Yeah, you're still audible.
Yes. So if you come and play a new team, you are bound to get a team that is just disjointed without chemistry, and also, Mr. OT, these guys are new. I'm a guys are new with national team, and they don't have experience with international games. Yeah, but in that place, about playing Sundowns players with Bafana Bafana, what do they come with? Yeah, but so I think for me, Mr. OT, let's just give Bafana a chance. And now they play under pressure. There's also a major tournament coming up, so they have to do well. Yeah, but so now we could add Exeni Baba a bit more emotional. And in terms of i-structure sethu umonari sebemkhiphile, I think mhlambe
Yeah.
so ubona umehluko cause
Yeah.
mina I would have preferred ukuthi umonari to sit and uMasele to go and play because uyakwazi ukudlala lawo ma-short passes asupportana ne-right wing kwi-chip. So bekumele kusale yedwa kube khona umuntu ozosupport i-wing because uma songayo nayo was supposed to like support is it Mokwana?
Yeah. Mkwan.
Yeah, because I feel like Utito as number 10 is very far from Mama Wings 8. So a key combination going forward. But for all in all, Mr. Otsi, what is happening is what I've been expecting with the game because Basha Laband. So let's just give it time. And if there was any game, it was this game.
So then, Kolade, how do you feel about this conversation we're having about coach fine who settled his scheme and you guys are auditioning, but then ingati nalok settle scheme, it's not to your strengths, and you wanna like some of them are struggling like Munare. If you were to create Munare now, you'd say that Munare is a bad player, for example, from the first half. But then if Munare, you look at him at Pirates, he never plays that role. Are we then making it an unfair audition for these players?
I don't think so, Mr. Oti, because we must have like different types of players, yeah, bro. I expect to Mokwena. He can be similar, but I figure Nento Mokwena nganayo. So these games, after another Mr. Oti, come with chances akanjalo ukuthi okay with Mokwena esinayo yini enye ungayenza wena Mokwena anganayo yabo like yini onganayo wena la in terms of ushintsho.
Okay. Let me go to agent. I want to ask you then, does these games, and obviously it's still 1-1, it's not a bad game, but do these games show that we don't necessarily have a depth in the national team, or at least planned depth in terms of having players that aren't completely new, having players that maybe understand each other a little bit? Should we have that type of thing by now? Have we been leaning so much on the Sundowns players at times and certain other players that we've forgotten that now we need to maybe have other players who can be ready?
I think a position away from Sundowns, and perhaps to the conversation that we have had, that you can't pick form for the national team. You don't do that, The trusted soldiers that you think they've been doing a job for you, those are the guys that you rely on. Then maybe here and they can bring in one or two, but you don't bring in generally at least at our level, players that are on form. You must have your trusted 15 or 16. Then those are the guys that you ride until the house is not the house. I'm sleepy. The cow has run out of milk. So I think it further emphasizes that point, not just Sundowns, but in general, and I think for me, I don't know, maybe I'm being harsh, on players. Like I said, I don't want to make it a Sundowns thing, or a whatever team thing. I'm blaming players like Abu Morena also, Abu Mashego also, Abu Tulungisane said there that with that experience, I always see this with Ulunga Sundowns, where he sprints forward, but the players are left behind. Like, what do you want there? You go, what are you doing there? And we're seeing that here, that they sprint forward, but to pass to who? Masongai, Mayo are still coming at a slow pace, and as they should, because we're expecting to build from the back, but anyways, we're not there. And for me, I just feel like we're just pampering these boys too much. That guys, okay, let me not use Chiefs. Chiefs is a bad example, but Pirates. We are taking a team from ABC Motsepe League, even if it's a completely new squad. I expect you guys to beat them comfortably. Don't talk to me about tactics and what.
Just win
hammer
the game.
boys. Just win the game. So for me, for this game, if this was Algeria, I would say I understand the players have not gelled, there's chemistry, but I'm not against part-time farmers, man. No. For me, it's a no for me. But to your question, I think it just further emphasizes the point that we need a consistent squad rather than picking players on form. Yeah.
And I think, guys, the point that I'm trying to make is not necessarily that you have to protect players and change schemes for them to fit and all of that stuff. What I'm saying is that if really we're planning for the future, do you not then say, Mayo, I'm not going to pick you because nje, you don't do what I want you to do nje, naturally when you're playing at your squad, right? Rather, and I know he's old and I'm not going to use him, I'm just using him as an example. Rather, if we're going to play that type of football, come, Krobla, this is what you do every week. You get what I mean? Therefore, I know that I'm not, because for me, it feels as though we're auditioning for auditioning's sake. Like we're bringing in people in share, everything's and other people are going to go, and we don't have even consistency in that type of thing.
No, for me, like I said, I don't know if it was you or Butukutu who said, sometimes Bruce does things to just show you that guys, there's a reason why I'm the coach and you guys are not, I think it's one of those things, like I said, Robla maybe can play the Makopa role, right? But Makopa has been tried and tested in this role and has given us a result, so why do you need to call in Robla? For me, that has always been my argument. I'm just giving an example. Not necessarily that Robla. I'm just saying, okay, yes, you're scoring goals. Yes, you're doing this. Maybe you can do off the ball runs, but Ole Pasa has been doing wonders. So why should I drop him for AFCON?
And that's why I'm saying
that has
that
always been my argument.
And that's why I'm saying that for me, it doesn't make sense to bring in Mayo now when you could bring in Lepasa, for example. This should be a Lepasa game, for example, if he is that cemented so that they can get the game time and all of the things that they need. I sometimes feel as though we are wasting time. We know Mayo's not going to fit into your system. It doesn't look good. It didn't look good versus Rwanda. Rather take those guys that were AFCON on the bench, and at least make sure that you've got a strong 20-25 to regularly play. Because now, imagine Adams is called again, and you're like, oh, Mara, guys, Adams, what's going on? He's not here to play, for example. We know that this other one was on the bench last time.
That's a joke.
Yeah.
It's a joke.
Yeah, I know it was bad. But anyway, just not to waste time. Sinje, I'm going to bring you in to just ask you the question. Does this then not show Guti we don't have a consistent secondary team? It's almost like anyone can play anytime. And if you make it onto the bench, not necessarily because you are being groomed to take over or that you are that. It's just that, guys, we just needed people.
Let me. I don't know whether we were watching a different AFCON. We got carried away by third place. And we are not taking into consideration that we reached third place by winning games on penalties. Not because our striking department was on fire, not because we were scoring goals. We went there on penalties. Your evidence, Mahopa, did not take us to third place. Your Lepasa did not take us to third place. Now, AFCON proved that Bafana Bafana not just lacks depth, but lacks complicity and complexion in their game. If your plays does not give you result, you do not have a player who plays differently, who adds a different dimension. Now, I don't understand why you are not playing on Mayo's strengths instead of exposing his weakness. That's my only problem with Hugo Boss, is that each and every player that the crowd or the fans or South African fans are crying about that is not included in his squad. Instead of playing to the player's strength, he's going to play a game that exposes the player's weakness. Each and every player has his strength. Each and every player has his weakness. Bafana Bafana coach, why would you then play on one player you are playing to his strength and one player you are playing to his weakness? As much as Evidence Makgopa is a good striker, he has his weaknesses. But you don't see a structure and play and pattern of play that exposes that. Instead, he gives him a platform to shine. Now you've got Mayo, and I'm watching each and every ball that is coming through Mayo. And I disagree with Ulungelo on the panel. Each and every ball that has went to Mayo, it comes from the air. It's an aerial ball. And we all know that that is not his strength. That's an Evidence Makgopa strength. And this is where my problem is that if one style of play is not giving you result, you have to have a different style of play, and you have to have players on your camp that are versatile in changing the pattern. You cannot play the same way over and over again while you see that it does not give you result.
And even if you do, my argument is that even if you want to do that, why waste bringing Mayo and forcing him to adapt instead of and I'm using Mayo as an example, instead of finding somebody that plays similar to exactly how you want to play and playing that person. If Lipasa and Makgopa are the people that you want to play, and you've played them through their benchings, you've played them through all of that stuff, why isn't Lipasa starting this game as the secondary man or a striker that is like Makgopa? Then you don't have to waste time proving a point or adapting or what. Mutlogele, leave him at home.
Because of the pressure that comes when Lepasa is not going to give you results. Lepasa does not give you results. Evidence Makgopa doesn't give you results. Then you are going to have Abo OT that are saying that you should have had Mayo in your team. And now you're not going to have an answer as to why did you not. Exactly, we all want to win.
I think
we all want to win.
I'm gonna come back. I wanna bring Malume Khutso. I just feel as though in SA, and I don't want to make it a Bruce thing or whatever, but it feels like there's a pattern where we blame fans. Guys, I don't know. I'm a TikToker. I don't know enough about football to ever think of speaking to Bruce. So if Bruce is doing something that I don't like and he's winning, Joe, he's winning. You shouldn't worry about my feelings about this thing. You know what I mean? So bringing in Mayo and having him go there and then come back and whatever, when we know he's not going to fit, for me, we've just wasted time for no reason. But anyway, Malume Khutso, I want you to weigh in on this conversation. Do you think that we should have a consistent secondary team? Do you think that maybe we should be seeing more of the players that were the AFCON guys and actually having that plan? Or is Bruce fine in auditioning people or giving everybody a chance, or, you know?
No, Mr. Uti, little batla Mayo. Little batla Mayo every day, le Copa Mayo, every week, le Copa Mayo.
On the assumption that you're going to play to Mayo's strengths when he gets there. No, but that's the truth. I wouldn't ask for Mayo. I can't ask for Mayo if he's going to play like Makgopa. I'm not going to ask for Mayo. That would be stupid. That's what I'm saying now.
But he's showing you, Mr. Uti.
Why must he show us? Why must he show us?
He's giving
We're going into some
110,
important games. We're going into important games.
I agree as a system. And he selects players based on the system.
Yes.
And then South African legends, South African, but the pressure is not only from fans. It's also from people like Morgan Mamila.
Mara, is it real pressure? Is it pressure that he must do something when he's winning? He's winning.
No, it's real pressure to an extent that people are suggesting people for his job while he's there on the job. So you must give the people what they want so that they can eat a humble pie and enjoy it to a point where they are like, we're not enjoying this one. It's pressure, Mr. Uti. In South Africa, your life is in danger sometimes as you are coaching. Someone can
Not
come and break.
Bruce. Guys, Bruce hasn't been under that pressure.
No,
Let's not go there
why?
for Bruce.
You know why? Because he's winning.
That's what I'm
And
saying. Carry on
and
winning.
and by
Do
the
what you
way,
want.
Bruce understands this so much. He selected his team that he knows, and someone said, your team is tired. This guy, lenta azenza manje. Uzamile ukuzi-avoida Mr. OT. And I just want to give credit to Ulumsan. He pointed out something. I have never seen such madness. I saw
Yeah.
Umbanjwa coming to collect the ball behind Utapelo Morena. Tapelo Morena and kana kibang that one. Terence Mashiku. They are on drugs. Anyage, ipola sasa kuma center back. When you are gone, you are part of the front three. No, you are gone. So high. Who must the center backs pass? Who must play the ball? So, Mr. Oti, I'm saying, Mayo must adapt. Yeah, has he not been watching Bafana Bafana? Does he not know what's expected
No,
of him?
but don't bring
And
him. He's not going to play it.
Mayo
We're
is
not
not
wasting
short.
time going into World Cup qualifiers, going into all the stuff. If we know that Bruce is not going to change his system, and we know that Mayo has never played that way, why waste time? Bring
we
people
didn't
that can
know.
play it from day one and live your life and win.
We didn't know, Aker. Now we know. I want to now. Bronze
But
is
we saw
helping.
him versus
No,
Rwanda, Malume Kutu,
no.
we saw him versus Rwanda. We've seen this movie before. If you're not going to adapt for him, don't bring him then.
No, Mr. Oti, Bronze has assisted you by selecting Mayo to say Angfunu Mayo from I want Mayo to Angfunu Mayo. That's
You know,
what
we're not
Bronze.
wasting time, Malume Kutu. We're not wasting time
This
to
is
get ready for qualifiers. We're playing Nigeria soon. We're going to King AFCON 2025 soon. We're doing all those things. Why waste time proving points at this juncture?
He's not wasting time. He's helping the players focus by reducing the noise level. Select the best that they want so that supporters can see with Ayman. Maybe you don't fit. So that moving forward, players are not abused.
Guys,
But
win
they
your
are
games,
supported.
guys. Win your games.
Mr.
That's all
Oti,
we ask for.
you can't have your cake and eat it. Someone
No,
here
win
is
your
saying,
games.
Mr. Oti, someone here is saying Makopa did not do anything for us. Just imagine a player who calmly slaughtered a goal against Morocco in the last 16 is said to have done nothing. A player who played a nice 1-2 with Mshishizwane against Namibia is said to have done nothing. People are disrespectful. So let's see your favorite Mayo there providing us with something. You understand, Mr. Because South Africans and Chief supporters are out of order sometimes. More about Kuzi.
Marachi, but you know what my thing is, Malume Kuto? You know what my thing is, ne? I feel like you're then being unfair to Mayo. In that, if you're not going to give Mayo the situation where he can be good at, the same way that you give Mahopa a situation where his particular strengths are good, that means that you're just doing it's a false thing. It's taking Modi to Bafana Bafana when you had no you want him there and you're just doing it to please people or to show people off. I would much rather a player like Bomayo, let him stay home, bruh. Leave him out of the beef, leave him out of whatever. You don't have to prove anything. A player Wabatu comes there, he's expected to be Mahopa. We all say he's bad, he goes home. If we're worried about mental health, double pace and whatever, imagine what's going to happen to Mayo when he lands. And we all can see that he's not playing the way Mayo plays. So, why are we wasting each other's time?
Mr. Oti, Umay was also in the papers, by the way.
Yeah.
That, commenting on his omission from the squad. He was also there in the papers. So he's very much like the fans.
Because he was, guys, what did he say?
I'll give you an example. Moto was also asked about his omission, and he spoke so positively that he's happy he hasn't been playing. He reasoned like a proper professional would. So Umar is not innocent, Mr. Oti. You understand? Let him play, Mr. Oti, and show us Oti. He win. You see this thing of favoritism. Right now, you see what they are saying. Mahopa 1 goal in 1,000. What. Mostly Mahopa never gave us anything. Now he came against number 164. But here, we're not saying Mayo is not performing. We are saying the system is wrong. So the entire system has changed for one player. Mr. Oates, this very same team.
I don't know,
can I just,
Baba.
Can I just also
You've
correct?
seen me.
No, can I just correct what was said? Ogutu Pros selects players to sabotage them. Tembazwane was not in this team. Today he's one of the most important players with the team. And he
Why?
plays
Did
every
he
day.
not? Did Bruce? Does Bruce not play to Tembazwane's strengths?
No,
According to his words.
Tembazwane also adapts to process system.
Bruce,
Mr. Oti, Aspen fair.
Bruce changed the system for Zwane. Ay,
Mr.
Kuzo.
Oti, Uzwane runs his socks off in this Bafana team.
Yes,
Uzwane
and
does
Bruce
not
makes
run
sure
as
that
much.
that running is not for free.
Mr. Oti,
He changed the
Let me
system.
Let me land. Uzwane does not run as much with Sundowns. But when he plays for Bafana Bafana, he runs in goal, referee. So, anyway,
They didn't give it.
Mr. Oti, Uzwane runs his socks off with a team, Mr. Oti, but he does not run as much with Sundowns. He knows this is the national team. We can't all adapt just for you. Referee.
That's not a goal, guys. That's not a goal. That's not a goal, guys.
But anyway, players must adapt, Mr. Oti, when Ziwa. Who's this one? This one of Morena. Morena will play striker, will play defender without complaining. So this star player that we all wanted, he's the one who can fix our problems. Only do one thing. He can adapt. Simple.
It's not just him. It's not just him. It's not just him.
Mr. Oti, if I wanna sometimes people don't understand which a long ball is not only about putting it on the chest. If you have delicious runs, ukashapa kanaking long ball washa run.
Okay.
Run behind the defense, wahona ulokor. I can know you're a nice striker, you're delicious. And by the way, I don't have beef with I'm just saying he must perform. Let's not make excuses.
But that's why now.
Mr. Oti.
That's why now when I started, I didn't want to make it just about Mayo. I feel the same about Munare in this game. I feel the same about Musele. I feel the same about Koki and CBC at the back. I feel exactly the same. This team was not created to make those guys look good, and they are being asked to do things that they're not meant to do. That's why only 1-1 right now. It's not just about Mayo. So I feel as though this team that was put together now is just a team where they just went, "Hey guys, ngenani nidlale." Abombanjwa, Mukwana will shine. Fine, great. But asking Munare to be a deep lying 6 doesn't make sense. That's why he's off right now. And if we're judging him, we're going to say Munare is such a bad player. But he doesn't play that. Abo Musele don't play roles that have been given to them. That's why they look like this versus number 164. But,
can I ask you something? So, do you believe that a national team should have 2 or 3 systems?
No. This is what I'm saying. I believe that. I believe that if you have a system, pick the players for the system. You're a national team coach. Go find a ball-playing centre-back. Go find a striker that looks like Mahopa. Go find a midfielder that does 1, 2, and 3. Instead of saying that all these people must adapt on their second, third game.
So you believe the coach or system should have one system, right?
No. This is what I'm saying.
Let me finish. Right? Can I finish? So the coach should have a primary system that he prefers, right?
Yeah.
So You guys knew that the Bruce plays this way. You guys knew. It's not a surprise. It's not a surprise to anyone. Everyone knows how Bruce plays, right? But you guys pressurized him to bring in Zwani. You
How
guys
do we
pressurized him to
pressurize
bring
him?
Sundowns.
He's a winning coach. Am I going to
This-
get him fired?
this-
Is
I'm talking
Safa
about.
going to fire him?
Let me finish. I'm talking about the same way
guys.
Southgate was pressurizing to bring in Meno, but we are not there. So the same way Zona was
Forget about
pressurized.
Southgate. This
Let me
guy
finish.
finished third at AFCON. He's done everything.
Let me speak. Let me speak. Before he went there, he was pressurized to bring in Sundowns players, and those Sundowns
he
players, all of them,
Yeah.
adopted to his system. So let's
he
not
plays
make
out
it
from the
seem
back.
like
He plays out from the back. No, he was not doing
he
that.
tried that first game.
He was
We
not
lost,
doing that.
and we. Okay, maybe I was watching a different AFCON. I'll let the
There
guys
was
speak about it.
one
But
game where it was different. That was Namibia. The other games,
No, all
he
the-
did
all the
this. So
games were
what we're
different.
watching here, he did this. And it needs good ball-playing players at the back, center back more specifically. Then it needs a tall striker, Mahopa, to win the first ball. The only time he played balls to the wings, these long balls that you guys are speaking about to the wings, was Namibia. And that was fast transition. That was the only time he played that football.
I'm just gonna say,
Just one
from what I
question,
saw,
Mr.
we only played one way in the first game, and we threw that thing out of the window.
So, Ojampa
players should
Mudiba,
adopt. Let me
Ojampa
speak.
Kekana, guys.
Let me finish, and I'll let the guys join in because I know me and we can go back and forth for an hour. So, for me, players have to adopt, right, to the system, right? So sometimes you call in a player not to expose him and say, but can you fit into my system? Can you adopt to my system, right? The way Messi plays in Barcelona or PSG is not the same way he played in Argentina. It's different system. Players have to adopt. That's
Do you
my
know?
whole
But
argument.
do not get me about the conversation, agent.
And lastly, right? We cannot say because you are bringing player A, player B, player C, let's change the system for them. It's a large Sundowns thing that I always say about. Player adopts to the system, not system to player. So you're bringing player A, B, C, they must
Yes.
get used to a system so
And
that
Loch is about to play how many games to get used to that
when-
system? How many games is Loch going to play?
You're disturbing my flow, T. You're disturbing my flow.
Ah,
You're disturbing my
guys.
train of thought. You're disturbing my train of thought. But my
okay.
thing is, if player A, B, C are coming into a system, are coming to play for Bafana, they must get used to the system that it is being played so that when they are incorporated with the main squad, they don't struggle with the system.
Yes.
So
Yes.
once you start coming up with new system for new players, when they come with the first team, then it's gonna become an issue. For me, that's why I support having a Monar and this guy from Pirates again, the two defensive
Musele.
midfielder. Musele, because usually you have MOKWENA and there. So everything has to mimic the first team so that when they get there, it's not a shock. For me, that's the thing.
And that's why, and if I can just reply to you, everything I've said interlinks. Because the first thing I started with was, I don't understand why Bruce is bringing in players that have not played the system and changing them. Instead of, and I made Tito the example, if Tito is the player that you want to bring in, Tito should be playing more games or be with the squad more, so that when he comes in, he's had time to be part of the system and do all of those things. That's where I started. And the first question I was asking was, in this round, was very simple. Guys, should Bruce not bring in guys that has been lagging along for all of these games? So if Lepasa is your secondary striker and has been your secondary striker, quote unquote, for all of these months and the year and whatever, this should be a Lepasa game because Lepasa understands your system. He's had time to adapt to your system. If I parachute you in once or twice in the years that we've played, I expect you all of a sudden to look a certain way. Lodge looks a certain way right now at Sundowns. Why? Because he's getting used to the system. But the advantage that Lodge is going to have is that he's going to be with Sundowns for 25 games. And if after 25 games, Lodge is still not the player, then we can look at him and say, oh my guy, what are you doing? My point being, again, here's my point, and especially about South African football, we give fans too much power. Bruce is not going to get fired because of Mayo pressure. He's not going to. Let's be honest. So him trying to prove a point to us, for me, makes no sense because he himself said, Mayo ke -1. I've tried him before. So why are you proving another point today when you could be bringing somebody and giving them the time in order for them to get better? Or if you're going to bring Mayo, have Mayo play more games. Bring him in ever since Umzama from Rwanda, so that
But
then you
he's
can
doing
turn
that.
around.
This is the first opportunity to bring in Mayo, to give him one last chance.
This is the second time. No, agent. This is the second time Mayo has played. If he was really going to play, put him on the bench, go AFCON then. Put him on the bench. Or take the guy, Agent, or take the guy who was on the bench at AFCON, who has been with this team, and play him here. That's what I'm saying. Why waste time? That's what I'm saying. Don't try Mayo here. Bring in the person who was sitting on the bench so that when we go into heavy games, you have people that have been there. Or don't bring him.
But we saw that Lepasa and Makhopa, people are saying we're not good enough. So you're saying,
People
let's
are saying
try
that they're
this
winning,
guy.
Agent. Why are you trying them?
Let's try this guy one last time and see.
So when
if
it's
he's going to be
hot,
-1.
okay, Agent. So
Okay,
when it's hot, you're gonna parachute Lipasa in, and when Lipasa is not performing, we're gonna say what? Oh, Lipasa so. When he should be playing these games as the person who has played with Bruce ever since. Akir, that's what I'm saying. Akir, you guys are talking about chemistry. So now you're gonna parachute him in when? Algeria. He's not even in the team. When we go play against the thing and these guys have failed, you're gonna parachute him in, and when he fails up there, it's gonna be guys, Lepasa's like this. When he should be playing these games, or at least there should be a succession plan to say, here are the 30 players. I'm gonna play these guys together so that they can get chemistry. Stop jumping around and bringing in people and doing this when you're not gonna use them. Today I'm a -1. Today Modi is in the team because Chiefs fans are complaining. He's not going to do anything in the future. He goes home. Now I've taken a space of somebody.
We are told that Zwani is too old. Zwani proved that, got a chance, age is just a number. So Mayon, given a second chance, should do the same thing that proved that, guys, I'm not a -1. I'm a +1.
But why? Why, Agent? Why? Why do we need to do that?
The reinforcement at front, Light Foster
You've got
undeniable.
and you've got Lipasa and you've got other strikers maybe that can play like Umakho. Why Foster? Robla. But then Robla.
You can't call Robla and Zwan in the same team.
No.
You guys are saying we're playing for the future.
And so then, Agent, you're going to take an apple.
Let's give us a chance.
No, but guys, you're going to take an apple and put it by oranges and then go, you're not an orange. And then you're going to try it again tomorrow and not even make a fruit salad. You're going to keep putting it next to oranges. And then you're going to come back and say, I'm trying him. Hi, guys. Let me hear some other guys. Lungisani?
Yes. Good debate there. A couple of points one should take. But my thing was, when I OT, you coming to this conclusion to say, Hugo Bros must be given a chance to speak to the PSL coaches because he wants certain players to play a certain way that will fit his philosophy.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
So we're going back, the way I'm hearing you, we're going back there. Because let me tell you, Cape Town City doesn't play tiki-taka football.
Yes.
They play long balls, over the top, but Mayo there, eventually because they know him, they've played with him 20, 15 games, they've gelled.
Yes.
They know how to find him.
And
you
not
understand?
that.
They also play long balls now. You understand? So Omayo wins those second balls and scores from them. So I think it will be best, really and truly, to say, okay, let's give Hugo Bros what he wants. Let him meet with the coaches. Let him say the potential players he's looking kuleso squad leso, and let him tell you how he wants you to play them. You understand? Because I think that is where we are struggling. Because if you look at it at the back, we are sort of okay. In the midfield, we are okay. We are doing fine.
Yeah.
The problem is up front. And he's been complaining about up front. How many players has he tried up front? He tried to pre, and everybody was present to pre. He told us to pre is a cow.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
He tried Makopa. The only thing I feel, and Lex would do evidence Makopa, as much as a good striker, he first touch. That goes to show what a Kamui Academy. He was just taken from the street, thrown in there to play competitive football. You know what? And I've always said this, even inside the Olympics. If Makopa was coming from a background of an academy or school of excellence, he will be the deadliest striker we've ever had in South Africa. You understand? So I think let us give Hugo Bros a chance to say, okay, meet the coaches, speak to the coaches, name your 50 players that you are looking at, and then ask them to play them the certain way you want them to play.
Yeah.
You understand? Because he really and truly, Hugo Bros is about 50 players. So where he will pick and choose. How come he speaks to the coaches that are overseas? He speaks to Brendan Carnell, he speaks to Hlongane's coach to say, if you're playing him for 20 minutes, try him in this position, because I want him in this position. You understand what I'm saying? Here in South Africa, we are denying him that right as a national coach to say, if you're going to play Evidence Makopa, play him in this position for just 15 minutes, because this is where I want to see him in the national team. Okay.
Do you know what my,
with that
do you know
being
what my
said,
problem? Do you know what my problem is?
Yeah.
My problem with how it is right now is that I feel as though we've got a lot of loose movement in the national team, and you see that in the secondary part of our team there isn't planning. Because my big argument here, my big point here is, why then waste time taking aboreinas all over the place when you could say, okay, fine, as in reinas, you don't fit in my system, but I need you to adapt and learn. You've already been with us for a year. You've played this game, you've done that game, and I'm using reinas as an example, but anyway, you've played this game, you've played that game, you've played that game. Now, when it comes your chance for you to play the game, you get what I mean? He couldn't play during AFCON. He couldn't play during this. It's now your chance to play. It's Andorra, where we can come in and I can assess you on how well you've adapted to my system. Now, all of a sudden, I'm putting you on the bench to bring in another guy who hasn't been in the system when you are not even match tested. So I feel as though now you have wasted that time with Reinas or whoever, because you have now benched him for all that time, you've taken him for all that time, and if Kanyisa Mayo was really the answer, quote unquote, you've now parachuted him twice, where you've brought him in for 4 weeks with Bafana Bafana, and we're expecting him to have adapted when you have somebody who's been there for 8 months, but umdalis. You get what I mean? So now I question the planning. You get me? I question the planning where I go, Mara. For me, it feels as though, especially with the secondary part of Bafana Bafana, we're just wasting time. Adams comes for this thing. Agasa's the national team, but Begakon, AFCON, all those months you were with him, that side, they should be playing these games because this is their game time. But now they're not playing additional Muntu. Low Muntu doesn't work out. I look at Adams again, he doesn't have game time. I've now wasted his time. That's my thing. That's my only thing in this.
And that number 11 from Polokwane, Batimang,
Apolis.
You get what I mean? I would have also loved to see him play. Yeah, I would have also loved to see him play one of these games, one of these friendlies, because he was there during the AFCON.
Exactly.
He's not a bad player. Maybe
and if there's
we don't know.
And if there's somebody that has time, that has had time within your system, Uchibenaye, he's played with the players more, he's done all this stuff. That's a player who's adapting or who we'd expect adapting from, if that makes sense.
So we are expected everybody to be treated like Moby. Is that what you're saying?
Because Moby's been treated like that. Ukhona uMobi. uMobi, there is not a player who can't come in
Has
and say,
been there,
I haven't had time. You get
has been there since
and
the start.
Umobi, you get me? They should be playing these games as the secondary part of Bafana, but you know.
So we are expecting everybody to be treated like Mobi. I get you, Oti. I get you.
Just have a team then. Like just have your team. Ungaletha abantu benchini for the sake of having a bench. But let a bench
Because it
because you
doesn't
know.
it doesn't matter how many right backs he chooses. Mobi will be there. We have Motaung, you have Monar, Mobi will be there. You understand? Now I get you. Let us
That's
have
all I was saying.
yeah,
Okay,
consistency.
can I kindly ask just one short question?
Sure, Puduku.
I understand, guys, we don't like Mobi, but what's the and when?
No, I'm not even saying it's bad. It's not about being bad.
I'm asking Olungsar because
Kuto,
Oh.
it's no.
maybe
Kuto
not
is not
like
about
him
being bad.
when you look at him.
He's not a bad player, Kuto. Listen to me. He's not a bad player. But to me, we have so many right backs that are much better than Mobi. You understand? That could play much better than Mobi. But because he likes the boy and he entrusts the boy, he will call him up. Hence, Coach was saying Adams was there in the AFCON, Apollis was there in the AFCON. Why suddenly are all these players dropped? Because when they came back from AFCON, they carried on playing for their teams. It's not that their level dropped or they dropped something. They carried on playing, they carried on making the first 11 for their team. Maybe Uveli, because he was not making his first 11 for Amazon for quite some time. That's why he was dropped. Then you understand. But for Adams, Apolis, Ulipasa, okay, Ulipasa probably is not playing for Pirate. Maybe drop him, yes. But when they came back from AFCON, they carried on playing for their teams, which showed Uti, nothing was dropped. Why didn't you pick them for Andorra's game? To come and say, guys, you were with me
No,
with
but
AFCON as my secondary team.
Apolis is in the team, guys. I think.
But
he will play.
Uveli was dropped. Uveli was dropped, because there's no dance challenge in this tournament, this series.
I'm man.
But guys,
At the parting
as my
shot.
last take for the year though, for the thing, and it's a question to Gudrungisani and OT. Lastly, you guys must. They said there are people. I don't know who those people are. I don't even know their names. They're called flip floppers. I don't know who that is.
Makupa is Mobi.
You know, so for me, I want people who stand on their principles and they abide by them.
Wait, what did we
die by your
flip flop on?
swords.
What did we flip flop on?
Let's die by our swords, right? We have the conversation has been Mobi doesn't deserve to be called up. There are more players that are deserving.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So that is the thing that people who, when new players are being called, let's not come back and say no, man. We should go back to the tried and tested, guys. Let's die by our principles. One thing I like about Abutu Kucho is even when he's wrong, and you can see that Abutu Kucho is dead wrong, he sticks to his guns. So please, guys, stick to your guns.
Do you know why? Do you know why I'm saying that I'm not flip flopping, agent?
My problem with what you are saying, agent, is this, right? I don't have a problem with a tried and tested, right? But if we are going to bring in someone into a system, you must bring them to a system. The system must be that you have built your system with must be on the field. You cannot say that you are bringing players into a system where the custodians of the system are not there. You are subjecting that player to fail. That's my problem. That's my only problem with you, boss.
So you are
Besides-
subjecting some of those players to fail. I see.
The agent, I think.
No.
Point,
I'm not saying.
I think,
Mr.
agent,
Sundowns players
just
are
to-
failing.
Hey, we're not gonna have time. That's why I've kept this on because I need to jet before we leave. I just want one last point. Yeah, Kolan. Agent, what I'm saying is, you've now picked Mobi, and you've had Mobi for this whole time, right? And Mobi has been the guy chosen, whether we've liked it or not. Whether we've liked it or not. Now, I'm saying that it doesn't make sense that you Jared Mobi all of these years, and then Mudau has taken over him. But then now, when come these games where Abo Mobi should be getting game time as the secondary people who have been in your system, you bring a whole new person. Because then at this point, I don't know if Mobi is ready to go onto that pitch when he plays, and I don't know why you've had him this whole time. The whole time he's been in your bag, and then you don't use him at this time. Then we call somebody else, and when that person steps in for game 1, game 2, we go, what's wrong with you guys? Why would you pick this guy? Hey, he's so bad. He's this, and you're like, ow. But now, so my point, rather don't bring don't bring him. Don't bring him. Focus on the guys you've been giving time and those who are expected to adapt because they've been in your system for the whole time. Don't now bring these people, refuse to change for them or whatever. Rather let the guys who have been in the system play. I've been harping on about this for months, where I've been saying that for me, I don't see the plan in Bruce's bench and Bruce's team when he announces, because it doesn't show that I am going to gain anything from being at Bafana Bafana. I could be gone tomorrow and somebody else can come in. I haven't kicked the ball, but I've been with the team for 4 months. That doesn't make sense to me. So rather have your Mobi and play your Mobi. People are complaining outside. Don't listen then. Look at Chiefs. When you're speaking about Chiefs, I was like, guys, you can't hide behind fans because you're saying fans are telling you to do 1, 2, and 3. That makes it an easy out for you because you can just as easily go, but I did what you guys wanted. It's not about what I want. I don't know what happens every day at Chiefs. I cried about this. I can want every single player that I want, but if they get there and you guys aren't willing to accommodate them, or aren't actually seriously bringing them into the plans, then what is the point? We've just wasted each other's time. You've wasted money. You've wasted all these things. Kolani, can you tell me there?
Yeah, I would say, it's
thank you
unfortunate.
so much for the gifts. Kolani.
It's unfortunate ukuthi ama-outside sephumile. Bengifuna ukubuza nje umbuzo embalwa Mr. Osi ukuthi after i-game uBruce uyisa kuba i-report, uyisa kuma-fans noma uyisa kwi-SAFA, because you can't be wanting to please ama-fans. If my coach wants to prove point against ama-fans, ngiyomxosha loyo coach loyo. Bruce is hired to make Bafana Bafana a better team, of which he doesn't have to answer uthina Mr. Uthi. And another thing, sesicomplainile ngama players. Ekade ngifuna ukubuza ukuthi okay fine, we are a level against the team le. uBruce yini ayenzile to win this game. Why are we not questioning ama tactics Bruce? We can't be saying Bruce must have one system. Coach, and modern football, Mr. Otsi, need you to be coach or adaptive. And lento yokuthi umayo akade ngamdlalisa ufuna ukuprove a point. Okay, Mr. Otsi, uyamdlalisa ke isystem adlala ngayo is not working. What is Bruce doing to make umayo a better striker? Since emfakile ngamkhiphi Mr. Otsi. So I'm not getting the angle as come ngayo ukuthi we only blame players because basha yabo Mr. Otsi, because who selected these players?
Why did they select
so
them?
why did he select? And Mr. Otsi, he's also not consistent because uthe umdropile uMotswa because he wasn't playing. Kodwa ngibona ulo khuzana uqulu lapha bamthathile. Yabo. So and Nkulu wasn't playing. Yabo. So
Why is they select?
But if
and Mr. Otsi, he's not.
Let me just check. Let me just check, guys. Please mute when you come in. Please mute.
Step further. Yeah, Mr. Otsi. Another thing. If Mr. Otsi ngiphazamisile step father Mr. Otsi, angasazi ukuthi bengizothini yazi.
No stress.
But so bona kusasa
Sharp. Guys, we have to be very strict. The people that have put in, I'm being friendly. I can only give you a minute. There's a situation where I can't be on for long. only give you a minute. I'm going to start with Kumo. Kumo, can you sum up your thoughts in a minute?
Oh, wow. I'm not
I don't have time. I'll do it tomorrow properly, Mara. Yeah.
No, all I'm saying is that why is everyone pressed about a friendly game? A friendly is a game where you're supposed to do experimentations. A friendly is a game. I can't believe that we were actually calling for Makopa, who gave us absolutely nothing. And it's a good thing that we played Reinas Mayo. I mean, like, they deserve to actually be in this Bafana squad because they've been scoring and they've been being two of our most lethal strikers in the PSL. So fine, goals cost us a draw, Mara. We shouldn't be hard on Bruce. We don't know what we want. As South Africans, I feel like we have way too much standards. And we know, like, when we play against Nigeria, we're gonna have 9 Sundowns players, including Lodge. So we're gonna be winning Pila. So let's forget about this. It's only a friendly game, and let's make the mistakes and see what happens.
Hey, when Lodge became yellow, let me go to Mtaneni. You've got a minute. What do you think? We're going to have this conversation in full tomorrow, but I wanted to give you guys a minute. Strictly.
No, okay. Okay, I fully understand the point. The only fact that I have is that when it comes to Bruce, the system must be continuous. Just create a system. Then whenever you wanna change or whenever you wanna get new faces, go for likes. We saw what it did. Today, that boy was not here. It was Tole. Then Monari was here. So we just go for likes. Then we're gonna have a good team. But we cannot be creating a team for AFCON and dismantle the whole team just to try something new. Then we won't reach 2026 World Cup. Let us have a system that is working. Then replace with likes. That's all it is supposed to do.
Okay.
Other than that, yeah, we're gonna see tomorrow, man.
No, thank you, my brother. Mtogis, thank you, man, thank you, man, for the rose, man.
Sure. OT, sure, panel. Buffett, mine is simple. Gents, the people who are here, this man, OT, is giving us content on a normal basis. We need to show appreciation. We need people like him because they give us the voice. And we need to give this man so that he can keep his lights on. So let's do what he asks, and then let's also respect each other on the panel. I know the respect part, there's no need for me to talk about it because we all do. Secondly, Buffett, this man, when he puts a gift goal there, make sure that you go over and above. If you can't, tap the screen, then share the live, Buffett. Share the live so that this man can be known, this man can be our voice. J Ngova, who he is here. Lastly, Bruce is doing a good job, gents. Let's trust in the process. Let's trust in him. We hired him based on what he can give us. So let's believe in that. Let's not try to coach the coach. There can be only one coach. The rest of us, we can have our thoughts, we can have but we need to stand behind this man. We need to support him. Because the system, when people say trust the system, it's not something that happens overnight. It takes time. When last did we go to AFCON and qualify without calculating points? When last? We've had a lot of coaches who failed to even move to the next step of a tournament. He did that. He went to number 3. Guys, that's a celebration. That's a win for South Africa as a whole. Danko, let me love you.
You gave me a lot of gifts, so I let you have a bit there. Stepfather, you've got a minute. What do you think? Oh, Stepfather, I'll again. It's fine. Small B in it. You've got a minute, my brother. Tell me, what do you think about what we're speaking about?
Now you see, I have a problem with the fact that he doesn't bring players from overseas. You see, there are talented boys overseas. Lyle Foster, he can solve our striker problems. He knows how to score.
He
He's
doesn't
scoring
want
in
to
the Premier
come.
League.
Doesn't want to come.
But he can solve our problems. Oluwetuma Khanye, he's a child. And he's very talented, that guy. He's composed. He can improve our back line. Keisha Smailula, he was in South Africa, eating the net, that one. He can solve our problems on the winger. And he must trust our children. Borato,
Yeah.
Mufukeng. He
Okay.
mustn't change our midfielder. Our midfield, we don't have problems with the midfield. Stoll and Mokwena. Yeah, those ones. They were playing at the AFCON.
No, my brother, thank you for. I know it's only a minute. Join me later on today. We're gonna have today is the member show, but we're gonna speak about these things. Stepfather's gone. Okay, I'm gonna chow his minute, guys. Look, it's very simple, guys. I question the planning. I think the nice thing about the national team coach is that you're not bound to certain players. You're not bound to certain things. You don't necessarily have to pick people because they're sitting on the bench wanting to come in. Hugo Bruce, I believe he has earned as much as he has earned to do whatever he wants to do. I don't think he should be trying to prove anything to us. And I think what we should be looking at with Bafana Bafana is who comes in after the Sundowns players, who comes in during. A lot of people are complaining about the bench during AFCON. But when are those guys going to play if not for these friendlies? When are the next guys going to come in? When are the people who have been on the bench for Bafana Bafana for so long going to play games? If we're just going to be changing. And what does that mean for the future? What does that mean about what we're building? And I think we've had this conversation months ago where I asked the question that, guys, do we know who's next? Are those people being prepared? Do we know who's second? Are those people being prepared? For me, these friendlies should be played by the guys who have been with Bafana Bafana, because then you don't have to worry about adapting. Then you also know that they're getting game time under their feet, so that if anything has to happen and they need to step in, then they're ready. But if we're going to give cameo roles to everybody that the fans are making a noise about, I can make as much noise about people. We don't know. I said this about the Chiefs. I don't sign people. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what their contracts look like. I don't know what people's mandate is. So them listening to me doesn't make sense. I think Hugo Bruce, whether we like him or not, he's one. So when we're speaking about pressure, I don't think there's pressure in that way, because Safa's not going to get rid of a coach who finished third at AFCON. In as much as we can complain as much as we want and people can speak, they're not going to get rid of him. He's got nothing to prove but to make us get better. And again, maybe this is just him doing what he does, and that's the plan, and that's how it is. I just feel sometimes there's wasted motion if we jara people for years, but then those people don't play. It's the same thing we complain about in cricket when there was a wicket keeper that was sitting behind Mark Boucher for 12 years. Busy being 12 men. They were saying that he's the best in the country sitting behind Boucher. The moment Boucher retired, they didn't bring that man in, and it was like, but Kiyomoto, who has been in your system, you wouldn't be asking for people to adapt. And if Khanye Mayo was a serious thing, as he has been scoring the past 2 years, maybe he should have been part of the system for 2 years so that he can adapt to how you want him to play, similar to Bomobi, similar to certain players who nobody wanted, who were under pressure or whatever. But to drop him in and expect so much, knowing that there's expectations from people, knowing that people are watching and all of that, drop him in and expect him to adapt today and then call him trash for that doesn't make sense to me, because you're also killing a player. Rather bring in people that fit you, rather bring in the people that you've been taking with you the whole time, because that just makes sense. But anyway, guys, I'll see you guys later on. Today is the 12:30 show. So 12:30, it's a members show. I'll have the full Bafana discussion on Monday. We're probably going to discuss it with the members today. If you want to be a member, remember, go onto YouTube, click on subscribe, then click on join. You gain access to our WhatsApp group where we are probably going to have a lot of discussions now after that. Let's see how that goes, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you guys then at 12:30.